It's the morning cryptos. And I want to start out immediately. I want to thank you guys for making some wonderful comments. And Sam Rocker, thank you. Al Rowe, thank you. Debo2691, thank you. Jim E, thank you. Alwyn, as always, has given me some really good advice. And I really appreciate you guys checking in with me and giving me some encouragement. And I know this is what the markets do. I get that. What I'm trying to get at here for people is I'm trying to explore how we respond and how we react without a filter. Like, I could pretend like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And I am fine. I'm not worried. I don't think about this. I'm not losing sleep over it. What I'm trying to do is kind of share with you guys a very private process of me learning. I'm really good at learning stuff. All my life I've taught myself things, and I've really avoided traditional teaching situations. I've taken courses and stuff, but I do much better when I dive into something and just really go at it, right? And really attempt to get what I want to happen from it, right? And what happens in that process is I fully commit and I jump in. I'm a kinesthetic learner. So I've got to jump in. Like, what I highly recommend to people is, particularly if you're new, if you're beginning, I'm trying to kind of outline some strategies that could work if you don't want to learn as much as I'm attempting to learn, right? And then the next level is you guys can learn from my mistakes, right? You guys can see, you can go back to the first couple of weeks of this challenge and you can see how I got sucked into the Ponzi schemes. You can see why those schemes will always be with us. And you can see why it's the rare few that actually are willing to go deep and learn how to actually trade, right? And so I get that this is just a correction. That's what I've been saying. Usually I wait a little farther into the video to reassure people, but what I'm trying to also do is get eyeballs. I'm trying to also play with headlines and ways to grab people's attention and say, hey, this is interesting. Come on in and let's talk about this for a little bit. It's something we can share. It's something of shared interest. And you can see the difference, 51 views of my morning cryptos from yesterday versus my music, 14 views, right? I'm really good at my music. I'm a master of what I do there, right? Here I'm not. Here I'm a novice. Here I'm a fool. A fool and his money. And I want to share that in a way that's hopefully interesting to you guys and that is also educational for me. I've never really learned something with other people watching, right? Because I'm going to make mistakes. But the thing is, I think that's healthy. I think that's helpful. Hopefully, it's helpful to keep people healthy in their approach to these markets and to not, when we see something go up like this, like this dash chart from yesterday, boom, we think it's going to keep going forever. And that's one of my weaknesses. Whenever I book a big gig in the past, I think, oh, this is the way it's going to be from now. I'm going to book big gigs. And then it always goes back to the way it was, right? So it's my challenge with money and the fact that I'm practically, I'm a savant with music, but I don't read music, right? I'm a savant with ideas and patterns and values, but I'm not good at the actual numbers and, technical ideas that require calculators and rulers and measuring and stuff, right? So I'm attempting to do this using what I'm good at and see if it's something that I can be good at, right? So that's really kind of what's going on for me, and I really appreciate all your comments. This is so so valuable for me, and I hope it's helpful for you guys as well. So let's look at the charts. The other point I wanted to make to people is I'm not a hugely experienced trader. And so I'm looking at the markets with beginner's mind. And if you guys see me make a major dumbass mistake, I really appreciate you pointing it out, right? You technical traders. And I'm kind of mostly technical traders because I really don't like listening to the news because the news is hypnotically designed to create fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which gets people's eyeballs so then they can sell ads. So I think there's some sound fundamentals here with Bitcoin, like the volume's going through the roof right now. Let's go to the 1-day chart. I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere. However, it does have these moves, and it's going to go up, it's going to come down, right? And the question is, are you in the long haul or what? And Alwyn gave me a really good suggestion of a couple of different exchanges where you can actually, short the market, which gives a trader the ability to make money every day, no matter what. Is the market going up or is it going down? And I used to do that in futures, but we're not quite there yet with, whether it's possible to do it. And so my whole process has been going from Coinbase, right, to the Exodus wallet and doing my trades in the Exodus wallet. That was an improvement. And then going to Bittrex and, now I've learned how to do trades there. Unfortunately, everything is tied up at the moment and I'm not in a place to sell because the markets have moved against me and I am holding long term at the moment. I'm not actually day trading. But I'm trying to understand these markets. I'm trying to literally pour my mind into them as an observer so that I can really get out of my own way and understand, okay, the market is doing this. You can't take it personally. The market is not against you, right? And notice how we want to do that. That's the human mind, and that's what I'm a student of, really. That's my true calling, is to go, why do we do the things we do, when we do them, and how we do them? And why do we do them over and over again, even though we know we shouldn't? Why do we chase a rising market? Why do we sell when we should hold? Why do we panic when we should just chill, right? That's what I want to know. That's the curiosity part. How does our hunter-gatherer mind interact with this abstract picture, really? It's just a picture on my computer screen. It seems real, and my money seems real, but it kind of feels like a video game. Which is why when these markets really kind of move against my position or whatever, I find it really helpful to go out and garden to get grounded, right? So anyway, let's look at the 1-day Bitcoin. Oh, more correction. How interesting. And again, as I've said before, it's still up, right? The market is still up. I mean, if you just watch, just draw a line, right? Still up. Here's some above, here's some below. Here's some above, it'll probably come below, it'll probably echo. And again, this is me learning. This is not me telling you anything. This is me wow, looking at this pattern, if you kind of look at the pattern, it makes sense. It has a rhythm, and you could put the line anywhere you want it. But that's the other question is, okay, I know where I want it to go, but what is it actually doing? It's a call to present moment thinking, right? We can't control the weather. We can't control these markets, but at least they'll be here tomorrow. Or the Ponzi schemes like Control Finance is basically, finally revealed as a Ponzi scheme. And I put a lot of money into that. And we can blame, I could blame Ryan Berkness because it was his videos that go, wow, this guy's really making a lot of money. I should do that, right? Social proof, people. Social proof. But I can't blame him because I'm the one that made the decision, right? And then I started talking about it, so probably other people got in because I was doing it, right? And that's the nature of the human mind. And that's why Ponzi schemes and confidence schemes have gone on for centuries, and why regulators have tried to stop it. But I think the regulation ends up being as much a Ponzi scheme and a scam as the Ponzi schemes, right? Free markets, to me, are really the solution, but they're not for everybody, and they can, you can lose your money and you can get burned. Well, I have a stove in my house and I could get burned on that too, but I touched it once and now I don't touch it, right? The learning process, people. So that's what I'm doing here, all right? I hope you guys get that, and I really appreciate your comments and any of your suggestions and guidance. If you are an experienced trader and you're putting up with my newbie nonsense here, perhaps because a lot of experienced traders have the experience, but they don't necessarily understand themselves or understand the mindset of the markets and how they work, or maybe they do. I don't know. I'm still learning. So I'm trying to come at this from a place of willingness to make mistakes as I learn from them, right? Because there are no mistakes. There's no failure. There's only feedback. That's really the core belief, and I'm just strengthening it by doing this. All right, so let's look at Dash. Dash is down. What a surprise. All right, let's take a peek at the 1 hours real quick on Dash. Oh yeah. There seems to be let me get rid of the volume just real quick so I can see what's going on down there. Yeah. It's called a correction. I get it. It's a correction. And let's go back to the 1 day. But see, the other thing I wanted to share and why I started making these videos every morning is because I was coming in here every morning and just almost meditating and looking, just going from market to market and going, wow, they all seem to be doing the same thing. So that's interesting. They're different, and yet they're responding to world events the same way. What's that all about? All right. So no news here. Dash is down. Let's go to Ethereum. Whoops. Ethereum US dollar. See what the hell's going on. Oh, what a surprise. Ethereum's down. Right? Yeah, so this is, again, no news to you guys. It's down. It's down, and it's looking like it wants to stay down for a little while anyway. We've got a lot of volume here, a lot of selling volume, but it's kind of getting in the way of the chart. Let me go to, can I move this? No, it's not going to move. So I'm just going to, just for the moment, get rid of the volume so we can see. So yeah, so it's making a little attempt to come back a little bit. However, it's looking pretty bearish at the moment from the 1 hour chart. So the thing is, I just noticed that I wasn't checking the charts as much, because the news wasn't good. For my wallet. I'm watching my wallet. I have one single Ethereum, and I'm watching my wallet, go from almost $400 to $251. That's a pretty big move. And again, gold makes moves as well. It just isn't quite as volatile as this, unless you look at like a 1 day gold chart. So that's the other thing, is you can interact with these markets on any level that works for you. And right now, I'm kind of more long-term holding, just because I know this is a correction. And I'm kind of in it for the long haul. And for that's for many people the way to do it, to just buy a certain amount or just keep buying it whenever it comes down and just hold it and not look at the daily charts, and then do maybe Genesis mining. And, I'm getting like $11 every day from Genesis mining, and that's nice. $11 a Bitcoin, and, it's kind of going down, but it's still an amount of Bitcoin that will go up when it goes up. You see? So that's working. Some of the stuff is working. The Ponzi schemes didn't work, right? Genesis mining is working, right? And they seem to be an actual legitimate business, right? You don't get your money back as fast, and you don't have the kind of control, and they could change the terms of their contract if it's no longer profitable for them. But at the moment, it seems to be profitable. So there are some inherent risks, just regular business risks with that. So that's one way to kind of deal with this uncertainty, right? So now I know where not to put my money the next time the market moves in my favor and I take profits and I have some profits. I know what I'm going to do with them, right? For me, as a kinesthetic learner, I can't just know that out of the box. I have to try things, and the ones that don't work, I stop doing, and the ones that do work, I continue to do, right? That's the gaming theory. We get reinforcement for what works, right? And we get punishment for what doesn't work, right? And there's something inherently, it's deeply not even human, it's mammalian, it's lizard, it's animal, it's animal training, essentially. It's how we interacted with an environment that was often harsh, an environment that wasn't set up to make our lives easy, but that we actually had to get up off our ass and go hunt if we wanted breakfast, right? Or go gather if we wanted breakfast. And if we went to a place where there's no food, well, guess what? We wouldn't go back there. We would move someplace where there was food, right? So that's how human beings have spread all over the world, right? We used up the food and resources in one area, and then we moved on. And if we met other people there, either they killed us or we killed them. There were challenges, right? And we live in a life right now that is so cushy, so soft, that we kind of need these markets to not always work for us so we can have that, right? That's what I'm thinking anyway. So let's look at my beloved little Litecoin, who I believed in so much. Ouch! Back down to 52. I know it's a correction, people, but man, that's kind of where I started. It's kind of where I started with my big Litecoin excitement. Ouch. We're on the 1-day chart. Ouch. But you know what? It's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And again, it's only through kind of sitting through this where it's like, okay, the next time it goes parabolic, ballistic, crazy, I'm definitely gonna take some profits, right? I'm not gonna maybe take all of it in profit, but I'm gonna take some profits. So we'll see. And I remember, when Bitcoin made its first real big retracement, back in June, I was able to cash out in July when it went right back up to where it was. So again, experience teaches you to be patient, right? And I don't even want to look at the 1 hours, but I'm gonna force myself. Ouch! Oh, Litecoin, Litecoin. But looks like we have some good volume here, and let's go back to the 1-day chart so I can see the volume. Yeah, we got some decent volume here. I think that's a good sign, although it's mostly sell volume. But you know what? I'm not getting out of Litecoin. I'm hanging on because I think it's going to 91. Where my sell stop is that I learned how to put in like 2 weeks ago. And I thought, wow, that, being able to trade these markets, but I haven't been able to because just my learning curve is lagging behind the curve of the market. So anyway, that is Litecoin. And let's just look at Monero real quick. Oh, what a surprise. It's down too. All right. Nothing new here, people. You get it. And I really appreciate your eyes and your ears and your attention and your support and your encouragement. And hopefully I'm encouraging you too, because I believe in you. The people that are into this, we are a rare breed. We are early adapters, early adopters. our minds are open enough to go, well, this might be a new thing. This might work for me. Let's see. And if you appreciated this, if you like this, I really appreciate it if you would subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share this with somebody. And while you're at it, check out some of my music. I'm doing some pretty amazing stuff lately, and it's working really well with my interest in cryptos. And if anyone looked at it, they go, hypnosis and cryptos, like music, hypnosis, and cryptos, like what's that all about? But it's all about our mind, people. It's about becoming who we want to be in the world and finding a way to pay for it, right? Finding a way to pay our bills that doesn't crush our souls. Finding a way to follow the things we're interested in a way that is sustainable and supports us in multiple ways. And so that's what I am doing here. And I appreciate you guys very, very much. Let's start the music, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.